Indie Shooter, brought to you by Adamus, Band Pro Film and Digital, Other World Computing, Panasonic, Sennheiser, and Carl Zeiss.
Hi, Clint with Indie Shooter, continuing our coverage here at the Band Pro One World Open House. And I'm here with Shapur of Sony. Shapur, Sony dropped a massive new camera in August, September, the FX9. Talk a little bit about this camera for those who aren't familiar.
Sure. So obviously, for everybody knows that FS7 has been one of our most successful camera for the past few years.
Like 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years, yeah. So it's a #1 camera in a lot of different categories. So ergonomically, it's a customer's favorite. So we try to build on the same ergonomics that the FS7 has, right? So a lot of it is very similar ergonomically to where the FS7 is, but we also listen and change a lot of things that people didn't like about FS7 or they wished it was improved. So things like having more independent and discrete audio control on the side, having more of the setting control on the body of the camera for a multi-dial, and things like that. But also, so we took that, improved the FS7 body, but we wanted to give it more capabilities, right? We have our Venice camera, which we launched about 2 years ago. It's our flagship cinema camera. The color science, having been able to do dual base ISO and 6K full frame sensor. Of course, Venice is format agnostic, lens agnostic. You can have different aspect and different recording modes, right? But the color science that the Venice has, we put a lot of work, research, and working with lots of cinematographer to create that look, the new Venice color science and look that we have. So we also implemented some of that technology in here, learning from Venice. We're able to do the dual base ISO full frame 6K sensor in here. We also have that more of the cinematic appealing color science that we have in Venice, also in FX9. The other successful line we have, it's our alpha cameras, our mirrorless cameras. We have the best autofocus in the industry. We have the same algorithm and autofocus system now also in FX9. So we kept the ergonomics the same as FS7, but we brought technology from our mirrorless line and from Venice and other cameras into here to develop a camera that is more user-friendly, easier to use in a lot of situations, like having ability and autofocus in the scenes that it's usable now. It works so great. It's precise, fast, and the algorithm it's so great that it works really well. Face recognition, and it works in a lot of interview situation. Also, if you have fast-moving object, if you're shooting animals or things that the focus puller technically cannot track everything. This now, with this technology, we can do that, taking advantage of all of that, putting all in the same body and shell of the FS7, basically.
And talk a little bit about this sensor. This was a completely brand new sensor. This wasn't just rehoused from
Correct.
another model.
So this is an X4R sensor. So it's a back illuminated full frame 6K sensor. So we take advantage of the full frame 6K sensor, and we still record 4K on the camera body as XAVC 10-bit 422 on board, right? But being able to have a lot more information going from 6K oversampling, going to 4K recording, it basically gives you much better picture quality and better color reproduction and everything all together, because after going through the process of going from 4K to debayering process and going to a 4K signal, you're better off starting with a lot more resolution and a lot more information, like a 6K, and then going down to 4K. So the other thing is, as I mentioned, it has the autofocus and phase detection technology from our mirrorless camera. So it had to be, all in all, a brand new sensor designed specifically for this. And up until now, we had lots of camera in this class that was Super 35, so we wanted, again, to go full frame, taking advantage of that new look and creativity of the full frame sensor.
So what is the mount on here? Is it a...
It is E-mount. So the beauty of E-mount is, first of all, you can get an E-mount from all the way from our alpha camera, APS-C size, to full frame mirrorless cameras, and even all the way up to Venice natively has an E-mount lens. The beauty of E-mount is you can adapt it really to anything and everything. backend. So they're adapter literally for every kind of adapter, because E-mount only has 18mm flange depth. It's easily adapted to different flange distance, basically, and you can put different lenses in there. Make you flexible. What if next year you're going to do a project that you wanted to use different type of lenses? So you're not locked into one or two type of lens that you can adapt and use it on your camera. You're flexible to use any lens that you basically want. There are adapters for Canon, Nikon, TL, even 2/3-inch lenses. They're adapters literally for everything. That being said, we have about 55 lenses from Sony that natively they go directly on this camera. And there are other manufacturers like Sigma, Zeiss, Fujinon. They all also manufacture E-mount that goes directly without adapter on this camera.
Excellent. And so the price point on this one is?
The price point, body is about $11,000. And if you get the kit, and when I mention body, by the way, body includes the viewfinder, which has been improved, the grip, everything. If you get the kit lens, which is PXW FX9K, it will include this 28 to 135 f4 servo zoom lens. Also, it's a full frame lens as well that is coming with a kit package. Yeah, all in all, 13.5 with the lens and 11 without the lens. Good, I'm very excited. Again, a great camera, lots of great tools at this level of a camera. And it's not just the autofocus and everything we talked about, but also being able to do dual base ISO. So this camera can do 800 and 4000 base ISO. At the same time, you have electronic ND, which opens up lots of possibility. You could do depth of field pull. You could actually have auto ND. You can change your ND in a very small increment, anywhere from 2 to 7 stop, going indoor, outdoor, different lighting situations seamlessly. So there's tons of different tools in here, time lapse, high speed, and next summer we're gonna have a new firmware update for this that is along with the extension unit in the back to send out a 16-bit RAW output. So you can actually record externally 16-bit RAW 4K from this camera.
Utilizing what, like an Atomos recorder or something like that?
It will be some sort of third-party recorder that we're in discussion right now, and we'll announce it as soon as it's available. But yes, it will be some sort of third-party. All you do is mount the extension unit on the back of the camera. It'll give you a 16-bit RAW output to record up to 60p in 4K. You can also do a 4K 120 externally in RAW. It would be a 10-bit RAW, but it still would be a raw quality 120, 120.
And people want to find out more. Is there a Sony website they should go to specifically?
Yeah, the best place to go to read about this camera is SonyCine.com. That's Sony, CINE.com. And follow us on social as well. We have lots of information in there.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Indie Shooter, brought to you by Adamus, Band Pro Film and Digital, Other World Computing, Panasonic, Sennheiser, and Carl Zeiss.